Hey guys, this is a Dark Siege development video, and it's gonna show a technique to ensure that multiplayer games will continue working even when you change server. So recently we changed server and we migrated to a new iWeb server, and the only multiplayer game we had would obviously stop working because we're using SmartFoxServer, and in the game code we need to access the server directly with the IP. So that was with Beast Fury Chibi, our only multiplayer game so far. So what I needed to do is, instead of accessing the IP of the server directly, is to call a PHP script using the domain name of the server. And I'm not sure if you know, but once the DNS propagation is done, of course the domain name will point to the new server. So it's better like that because you're not pointing to the IP directly. You're asking the server what's the game server's IP. So I'm gonna do that in Dark Siege using the solution we did in Beast Fury Chibi. So the first thing we need to do is copy some classes, and I'll explain what they do. So we got the database controller. The name is not very good, but it doesn't really matter. And what that does is basically it accesses the Evil Dog server, domain name to get the script, and the script is get server info. So like I said, using the domain name server is good because once you switch server and the DNS propagation is done, it's gonna point to the new IP directly. So your script can the script on the old server will give the old server's IP, and the script on the new server will give the new server's IP. So this is a Flash class, so basically it loads the PHP request, and there's a callback. So once you receive the result, it's gonna, when you call the get server info function, it's gonna call your callback once it's done. So what we'll need is create the DB controller class here. Alright, so I'll go right away in the server to copy the script in the right spot. So like I said, we did that with Beast Fury Chibi right before we changed the server, so just to make sure the game continued working. That was one of the problems I identified when I was checking what's gonna break when we switch. So we fixed that. So I'm gonna create a Dark Siege folder. Okay, so all it does is it sends back the IP of the server, the port, and the SmartFoxServer zone. That's so I could have just returned the IP, but better be safe and add more info, like if we want to change the SmartFoxServer zone or if the port changed. So better just return everything, and it's gonna be safer. Alright, so that's done. Let's go back to the code. So in Dark Siege, so far, I'm gonna show you what it's doing right now. I'll do this operation at the login level. So that's the login. So usually when I hit login here, it's gonna connect to the SmartFoxServer, and once I have confirmation of the connection, I do a login, and then it continues. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of the first thing I'll do instead of connecting is to actually get the information. So that's in the game mode login class. So here I'm trying to log in. So instead of calling this the connect part, I'll actually call the DB controller function. So that's our callback on get server info. So I'll just copy the class from the B's free code. So what it does is it splits the data with the, what do you call that? The colon. And alright. See here in my my player session class, that's where the connection is handled. Here is pointing directly to the IP and port and everything. So I'll just, I won't initialize that stuff here. I'm gonna let the game assign that stuff. So that means here I got the info I needed. So once I get here, then I'm gonna call the connect function with the right IP and everything. So that's good, and that might be it, I'm not sure. I don't think I need much more than that. So I made some mistakes here. Even better would be to move that code in the player session code, but I don't really like setting the host port and zone here, but maybe that's something I'll change later. So it connected. So that seems fine. Let's see if I change the script on the server. So say I change the IP here to whatever, something else. I just changed the last number. So we try to log in, so it should, yeah, see I got an error at the bottom. cannot load, blah blah blah. It doesn't work. I'm not able to connect to a server that's the wrong IP. So that's the technique. So maybe you're thinking, sure, you can just change your IP in your code, and that's fine. But that's a new server I'm trying. So maybe in a year or so, I'll change server again. So I prefer doing an automated solution where it's gonna be handled smoothly. Especially when you release games on the web, sometimes you lose control and you're not able to go and update those games when they're on different websites. And so yeah, this is better, and maybe that's something you'll need sometime if you're developing multiplayer games. Alright, I hope you enjoyed, and if you do like our stuff, subscribe. Bye bye!